This is an evening where the best of the human spirit, creativity, encounters the worst of the human spirit as it relates to things like genocide and violence and abuses of human rights. And this whole question of how art and creativity relates to these things is a really complicated one, right, I would think.
We can move our society to a place where you wake up the next morning and the goal of that day is to annihilate the other half of the population that you live with.
This genocide will be on your watch. How you deal with it will be your legacy. Your Rwanda, your Cambodia, your Auschwitz. We were brought up to believe that the UN was formed to ensure that the Holocaust could never happen again. We believe in you so strongly. We need you so badly. We've come so far. We're one yes away from ending this. And if not the UN, then who?
Many, many years ago, when I was a young philosophy student someplace, I remember a famous quote from Theodore Adorno was, no poems after Auschwitz. It was actually to write a poem after Auschwitz is barbaric. It actually had a lot of different kinds of meanings, not just literally, you can't write a poem after Auschwitz, but it was something about the difficulty and complexity of trying to express or comprehend through creativity something that is so terrible. But in your work, how do you think about the creative process? It could be art or dance or drama, media or music or any combination as a medium for dealing with these issues, whether it's educate or document, express or understand violence or genocide or human rights abuses. So how do you think about and how do you use creativity, various medium of creativity to address these kinds of issues?
Artists, performing artists, photographers, filmmakers, to hone down the message and how about this because it can be books to the community and get people involved.
Where we're at with our dance company is that we feel that we can create a ballet about Darfur, per se, and raise some awareness about the issue. But we're struggling with the fact that that's not translating into action, and not terribly satisfied with just the mission of raising awareness about literature, history, and social issues, and trying to find that action component. I think in the last few months working with this particular cast of dancers, we found that the dancers themselves have become the agents of change. I've been just shocked and impressed and flabbergasted really about how these young dancers have taken on the mission themselves to do external reading and to become advocates about the issue. So I see for the first time in our business model, perhaps we're starting to find that the action component isn't what we do in front of an audience, but what we do internally in our organization.
Can I just follow up on that, if I might? Because I'm going to put out a bold statement. Some theorists say that belief follows action. First, get people to act, then they will believe. And in fact, what you're describing is one of the ways in which art can be used. I remember in the 60s that music, not really the music we heard, but the music that we got to perform with the people in the movement, was one of the ways in which the groups were bonded together, bound together, and willing to move forward. and I suspect there are more sophisticated people in the clergy in this room, but I suspect that that notion of using performance and interaction with the congregation is one of the ways in which, prior to even belief, before you even know what you believe, you become a part of a community. And that art itself, as you described, it's interesting that you say that, because of course the experience then is those performers, because they are now the first ones to act, and then they will start to believe.
Actually go to a dance, performance where they see, a musical, or they see a choir, they're going to remember that there's an emotion behind a performance that you can't get through just handing someone a pamphlet.
Genocide is, as David Hawkins says, it's a process, it's an eliminationist thinking, right? It's to eliminate in some way. And the idea of uncovering tradition, reconnecting, is in fact an extraordinary way to fight.
I think this is just fantastic, because you guys have your network, and you brought us all together, that we have our network and bring more people together.
Creativity and awareness and action, because art is now about individual action with technology in a really different way. So maybe that very question that Neil posed, which I think is such an important question, maybe there's a really different era now in which to think about that.